what made you decide that being an author was where your heart was? What led you to do it?
Um, well, again, I don't have any straight answers, so I'm going to give you two answers again. Um, I I have done writing, contract writing, political writing, autobiographies, and those types of things for years and years for politicians, and it pays very well. But there's no real joy in it. You aren't creating something you're really proud of. In fact, you spend most of your time arguing with campaign managers about what needs to go in that they don't want in the book. Um, so about 25 years ago, I went through a battle with a very rare form of cancer, and I was very active in my business career. I was running 5 companies at the time. I provided most of the management. We were way too thin, and all of a sudden, I was gone for a year. And I lost outright 2 of those companies, just shut them down. One of them I gave to my employees, one I sold to some employees, and the other one I kept for 2 more years and then sold it. At the end of that time period, I'd taken just a huge financial bath. And my kids were still in school. My dog still loved me. I could still go out and hike on the trails. Everything in my life that was really important was still there. Nothing had gone away. And that's when I started to think about, why are you doing this? Why do you work, 14, 15, 16-hour days constantly? And the answer was, I don't know. Yes, I love to make a lot of money, but that's not why I live my life. So I began a transition right then. What do I want to do? I love to write. I'm going to start writing for myself. And then about 20 years ago, I met Carmen, who you know, and she fundamentally changed my life in that she's the first person that gave me permission to go do this full time. And she went back to my political writing, and she'd listened to the arguments that we had with campaign managers and so forth. And she said, well, when it gets right down to it, you're writing all fiction anyway. Why don't you go write your own?
Oh,
And that was the transition. So for the last 15 years, this is all I've done. Hey, Teresa, I'm just curious, how does one become such an avid reader that they get into reviewing books and then having the industry beat a path to your door to see what you think of a writer and a writer's work? How did that get started?
so I didn't when my kids started driving, I started reading more, and it was just like I didn't have to run them. So everything that I do, I'm over the top. I was, if you're going to be the Girl Scout leader, mom, I'm going to sell the most cookies. If I'm going to raise money for the basketball team, I'm going to raise the most money. Like I always wanted to do everything extra. So, and the kids always played sports. And there at one time we would have 3 kids at one time in middle school and varsity sports. Like, so your seasons would overlap and they just kept me busy. So when they all graduated, and let me just say this, my kids sandbagged me through high school. I thought they were just cute. Turns out they're smart. So when they took scholarships that didn't involve sports, I really didn't have anything to do. And so they set me up the Instagram and just said, "Hey, mom, try this." And it just kind of clicked together. And I just it's just like I had that empty spot where I wasn't raising kids and going to games. And I threw myself into it just like I was as a parent.